The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2, in conjunction with Colfax High School, presents Viking Pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings boys game. And now, Viking Pregame.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN2 studios. Rick Olson here. And tonight, the 11-12 Colfax Vikings, who are 5-8 in the Dunn St. Croix Conference, will wrap up their regular season by taking on the 3-17 Glenwood City Hilltoppers in a Dunn St. Croix Conference matchup. The Vikings are coming off a physical 69-57 loss at the hands of the Wausau East Lumberjacks last night, while the Hilltoppers are coming off a 50-31 loss at the hands of the Boyceville Bulldogs on Friday night. Now, this game was scheduled for this Thursday, but due to the impending snowstorm, we're coming to you 2 nights early. Now, coming up in this edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Hilltoppers and the Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Noel's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, our broadcast crew will bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. So it's time to get ready for some exciting high school boys basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame, where we're getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's game between the Glenwood City Hilltoppers and the Colfax Vikings. The Vikings are looking to regroup after their 69-57 loss last night to the Wausau East Lumberjacks. Now, in that game, the Vikings tried to match physically with the Lumberjacks, but just had no answer for the considerable size difference between the two teams. The Vikings, down 14-0 before they started scrapping their way back into the game, finally tied the game late in the second half. That's when the Lumberjacks' size advantage took over and they pulled away for the 12-point win. In that game, the Vikings were led in scoring by 6'3" senior Nick Jensen, who hit on 6 field goals, including a 3-pointer for 13 points. He was followed by Elijah Ensminger and Aiden Fisher, who each put up 12 points, while Jack Charlo added another 11. So far on the season, leading the way scoring for the Vikings is Charlo, who's averaging 15.5 points per game. He's followed by Ensminger, who's putting up over 15, and Nick Jensen, who's chipping in more than 8. Leading rebounders for the Vikings are Charlo, who's averaging right around 10 per game, and Jensen, who's pulling down around 6 per game. The Hilltoppers come into tonight's game with a 3-17 overall record and are 1-12 in the Dunn St. Croix Conference, following their 50-31 loss to the Boyceville Bulldogs on Thursday night. Look for the Toppers to be led in scoring by senior forward Alec Anderson, who averages just over 10 points per game. He's followed by junior forward Anthony Nelson, who adds nearly 9 points per game, and senior Max Jansen, who's chipping in another 8.5 points per game. Now, on the boards, the Hilltoppers are led by Anderson and junior guard Morgan Eggert, who each pull down close to 6 rebounds per game, while Nelson manages to grab 5.5 per game. So far on the season, Glenwood City is scoring at a 43-point average while giving up 54 points per game. The Vikings are averaging just over 57 points per game while allowing an average of 57. Coming up following this timeout, we'll get the coach's perspective as we chat with Viking head coach Mark Noel on Coach's Corner. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 are proud to announce that this spring they will be your viewing home for Eau Claire Cowboys football. Check out www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com for times and dates. That's Eau Claire Cowboy football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, what they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Once again on Coach's Corner, we're talking with Viking boys head coach Mark Knoll. And Coach, last night the Vikings faced off against a taller and very physical Division II Wausau East Lumberjacks. And even though the Vikings came up short 69-57, they battled hard all the way to the end. Now, what can you tell us about that game?
Well, I was proud of the effort that we put forth last night. We had to play really hard. I mean, I thought our kids played extremely hard. I mean, unfortunately, we dug ourselves a hole 14-0. Once we adjusted to the intensity and the speed and the physicality of the game, then I thought we were toe-to-toe with them. I mean, we started down 14-0, and then we go into halftime only down 4 points. So from the first 4 minutes on, we outscored them by 10 points and got it to a 4-point game. And then I'm not sure where it was that they're late in the game, but, you know, Rick, I thought we were tied somewhere late in the game with like 5-6 minutes left, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere in the 30s, there was a tie. And to be honest with you, I thought that the game was going to come out in favor of the Vikings because you guys had all the momentum, and then they canned one of those really long threes, and things turned back in their favor.
Yeah, and we had some foul trouble last night, which was the first time all year that we really had foul trouble. I had Elijah in foul trouble. I had Jack in foul trouble. You know, and then we went big for a while in the first half to match their size because they had a lot of great size on their team. And I thought Hoffman came in and gave us some really good minutes. And and I thought Mitch gave us some really good minutes. I thought he played his best game of the year last night. And then I thought Aiden Fisher also stepped up, you know, and had double figures for us. We had 4 guys in double figures, you know, and they're a 7th seed in Division II playing in a Division I conference. They play Stevens Point Spash High School tonight, you know, and I was just proud of the effort that we put forth once we figured out, you know, how hard he really had to compete.
You know, worst case scenario coming out of that game last night, your boys know that basically they can compete with anybody now.
Oh, yeah.
May not always be in their favor, but they can compete with them.
Yeah, we've been telling that, you know, to the kids all year long, and I think they definitely believe in that. They know that. It's just a matter of, you know, we play at the level of whoever we play, and that's obviously a good trait to have. We don't do it every game, but some games we do play to the level of the teams that we play against. But that game last night ultimately is going to help us prepare for the tournament when, you know, next week, you know, so because that was a tournament type level game, the intensity, and once you get to where you play the top teams in the regional, that was that kind of game.
Now tonight the Vikings are going to wrap up the season with a Dunn St. Croix Conference matchup against the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. What can you tell us about the Hilltoppers?
Well, I mean, their season hasn't gone the way that they wanted it to, but it's, you know, they're going to play extremely hard. They're going to throw some different things at us tonight because they have nothing to lose. And, you know, one of their best players is a freshman, has been hurt, and he just came back. So I don't know if he's going to play varsity tonight or not. I almost expect him to try to play varsity tonight. Olsen kid. He's about 6'3", 6'4". So it'll be good if he does play because it gives us a chance to see what he looks like.
Now, this matchup seems to be a real good opportunity for the Vikings to have a chance to work out any kinks prior to the WIA regionals that start on Tuesday. Your thoughts about that? Just getting everything cleaned up and ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be as sharp as you can going into the tournament. And, you know, these last 5 games, we've had a lot of different things to work on teams have thrown different presses at us. They throw different. Last night we had to go about 4 different half court defenses, about 3 different presses. So we got a lot of stuff thrown at us last night, which was a great thing to go against.
Now, being the last regular season game for the Vikings, it's also senior night tonight, where the 5 seniors on the team are going to be honored. Can you say a little something about those 5 young men?
Yes, I mean, as a group first, as a group, they're just outstanding young men. They literally, I don't have to worry about them off the court, and they're great role models for our young kids. They're kids that are going to do extremely great things in their future, and talk about them individually real quick. Ashton Greenwell, he's a good kid, came out for basketball, played his freshman year, didn't play until his senior year. I'm happy for him that he came out and played his fit in his senior year, because now he won't have regrets. He'll know, and he stuck with it, and he helped us out in our program with the JV and the varsity. And then we have Kyle Irwin. Kyle's more my quiet leader, but he's our point guard. He's someone that I can lean on. And a lot of times with my point guards, I'm probably harder on them than I am on anybody else, because they have to be an extension of me on the court. But Kyle's outstanding young man. He does everything that we ask him to do and some. With Mitch Medine, Mitch also is a kid that I can lean on, and he's always there whenever I need him. I think he's really improved this year. He got a lot stronger this offseason, which really helped him and his confidence. And I love how he's playing right now. And then you've got Jack Charlo. Jack's, really improved over these years, getting stronger, getting in the weight room, played AAU this summer, really improved his game, and had some massive games for us this year. And he's a great young man as well. Nick Jensen. With Nick, I love his attitude. I love that he's always got a big smile on his face. He makes everyone around him, happy. And he's someone that is fun to watch because he gets a lot out of himself. He's a strong young man and around the basket. It's fun to watch him. And now he's expanded his game where he's shooting 3-pointers. So now we have to remind him to get back inside because he wants to shoot threes.
Yeah, and he makes it pretty exciting when he hits those threes too.
Yeah, it's fun. That's
Coach
for him. For him, that's a dunk for him.
Right. So I'd like to thank you for joining us here on Coach's Corner all season long. You've provided some great insight to some very exciting basketball. That said, good luck on tonight's game, and hopefully the Vikings can head into the WIA playoffs on a winning note.
Thank you, and I appreciate all that you do and your whole staff. Coming to all of our games and being patient with me, coming up there to interview me after games. Because sometimes I get stuck where I forget that I have to go up there. So I appreciate those guys always giving me friendly reminders, and I know your dog there at home is a Viking fan too, because I heard him yelling, "Go Vikings!"
Well, yeah, she really had some opinions on the things you were saying, I think. Thank you very much, Coach.
You bet. Thank you.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, with a look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame. The Vikings are hoping to get their final tune-up in preparation for the upcoming WIAA Regionals, which will get underway just 1 week from tonight. Now, on the other hand, the Hilltoppers would like to finish their season with a rare win and go into the WIAA Regionals on a high note. So the stage is set for some exciting boys high school basketball, and we'll have all the action for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV. Now, tonight's Viking boys game will be the last game of the 2022-2023 season. We at the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 will be able to bring you, as we do not have the broadcast rights for the WIAA playoffs. The Vikings will open their WIAA regional play Tuesday when they host the Blair Taylor Wildcats. Now that game will be carried on Viking TV, and our NLWN2 crew will help Viking TV bring you the play-by-play. So in just a moment, we'll send it out to Colfax High School, where our broadcast crew is ready to bring you all the action of tonight's game from Colfax High School, as the Vikings are taking on the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. That's all coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
Soon the weather will change and you'll be able to breathe in the clean, fresh air of spring. And you know what comes right along with that. That's right, it will be time for Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball. Follow the Cavaliers all season long right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and NLWN TV. Be sure to check out our website at www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com for our current broadcast schedule. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Viking Boys game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Stay tuned, coming up next is live Colfax Viking basketball. It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Sladen's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Sladen's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Sladen's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Sladen's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Colfax Viking basketball is on the air.
Vikings steal the pass. This is Charlo driving down the left side of the lane, puts it up. It goes in and he draws the harm.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 proudly present today's Colfax Viking Boys varsity basketball game.
Down to Jensen and on the right baseline, puts it up and in. This is what you were talking about a couple days ago, Dan. Jensen's got to put those shots up, and he's doing it.
Join us as we head out to the gym for today's Viking basketball.
Glenwood City Hilltoppers and your Colfax Vikings. Introducing the freshman Brody Olson. The Hilltoppers are led by head coach Patrick Olson. And now the starting lineup for your Colfax Vikings. 5'8" senior Mitch Medina.
Good evening and welcome to Colfax for Dunn St. Croix Conference Boys Basketball action against the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. It is senior night here at Colfax, and this game was scheduled for Thursday night, but with the impending winter storm, they wanted to make sure that they got it in. So Glenwood City is here in road blue with white numerals trimmed in red, and the Colfax Vikings are in home white with red numerals and trim. And Colfax is moving from left to right as you look on from our vantage point here. And ball is tipped, and it goes to Mitch Medine. Senior starting tonight here for senior night at Colfax. Irwin with the ball, sends it over to Charlo. Charlo in the corner to Irwin. Irwin dribbling around the arch, heads toward the free throw line, stops, and out to Mitch Medine. And the Vikings keeping it out on top, looking for that way to break in there. And it is Irwin, goes up, shot missed, tipped around, and it's rebounded by Morgan Eggert of the Hilltoppers. Morgan Eggert's a junior, Alec Anderson's a senior, Max Jansen senior, and Jaden Quinn senior, and Brody Olson a freshman. Eggert with the ball on the baseline for the Hilltoppers, and it's flipped back to Quinn. And Quinn stepped on the end line, going back to the Vikings. 17:07 remains, first half. No score yet. As Irwin will bring it out of the backcourt for the Vikings. He's doubled up on, tries to get rid of it, tries to get it to Jensen, and Dean gets it right back, or Irwin gets it right back out to Charlo. Charlo's going to drive in, and he's going to try to dish it off to Ashton Greenwell, a senior also starting tonight, but he is fouled on the way in. That foul's going to go against Alec Anderson, a senior for the Hilltoppers. Irwin into Charlo. Charlo goes up, shot blocked, rebounded by Alec Anderson. Eggert up the floor for the Toppers. Down on the left side, it goes to Jansen. Back off on the other side to Alec Anderson. He'll dish it to Jansen. Jansen in the lane, goes out to Eggert. Eggert will drive in, and he is fouled on the way in by Mitch Medine, so that's the first foul of the game. Well, second foul of the game. It is the first foul for the Vikings, and on the free throw line is Morgan Eggert for Glenwood City. First free throw up and in. First points of the night, Glenwood City, 1-0. And Eggert sends the second one skyward. That one goes in as well. And we have a substitution now. Elijah Ensminger, a junior, is coming in to break Ashton Greenwell. And fired up the floor to Charlo. Charlo going up, draws a foul from Alec Anderson, so Jack's going to shoot a pair of free throws. 16:21 to go in the second. This is the last regular season game for the Colfax boys. They start tournament play a week from tonight. They host Blair Taylor. NLWN 2 and the Northern Light Webcasting Network does not have WIAA broadcast rights, but you can see both of those opening games for the boys and the girls on Viking TV, and we'll be along to add play-by-play and commentary. Second free throw doesn't go in either. And it is 2-0 Glenwood City. Out in the far corner goes to Tyler Harrington, who drains a three-pointer from the corner. And just like that, it is 5-0 Glenwood City. Irwin up high for the Vikings. Irwin, give and go to Ensminger. He's free throw line left. He'll slide around to the right side, give it to Medine. Medine up for three, catches the back iron. Ball tipped around a couple of times. Charlo trying to keep it from going out of bounds. And it goes out of bounds off Glenwood City, so Colfax will keep it anyway. No timeline to worry about this time. Glenwood City in a man-to-man defense. Charlo up top, gives it to Jensen. To Ensminger, down to Charlo. Charlo going to try to drive on the baseline. It was forced out of bounds. Hilltoppers will take it back. 15:32 remains in the first half. It's 5-0. Glenwood City leading Colfax. Caught in the backcourt. Max Jansen having a time. Now it's stolen away by Charlo, and he'll put in a layup for two, and the Vikings are on the board. 5-2, and more pressure for Glenwood City. They finally get it across the timeline. Klinger down underneath to Quinn, and Quinn's shot is blocked. It goes out of bounds. So Glenwood City's going to keep it, going to try it again. Morgan Eggert's going to throw it in from the left side of the lane. He'll fire it up top to Tyler Harrington. Harrington down to Jansen. Now around the opposite corner, it goes to Brody Olson. Olson caught along the side there by Charlo, got a long count. Quinn ends up getting the pass, and then it goes to Jansen. To Eggert, he's being guarded by Ensminger. Eggert, a one-handed pass down in the far corner, and then he gets it back out on top. Brody Olson goes in to Max Jansen, shot blocked and rebounded by Medine. Medine out to Irwin. Irwin drives the baseline to Jensen. Jensen off the glass a little too hard, trying to get it, but it's rebounded by Max Jansen of the Hilltoppers. Brody Olson up the floor, it goes to Eggert. Eggert down in the corner to Anderson. Anderson looking around, or check that, that's Tyler Harrington, and ball went off his foot out of bounds, and Colfax gets it back. Coming up on 14 minutes remaining in the first half, it's Glenwood City 5, Colfax 2. Out of the backcourt for Colfax, it is Fisher. Or Irwin, sorry. Down to Medine. Back in the middle to Ensminger. Ensminger heads toward the lane, stretches, makes a pass to Medine. Medine will drive the baseline now into Jensen. Jensen looking to go up, back out on top to Irwin. Irwin up too hard, rebounded by the Toppers' Max Jansen. Jansen going in between a couple of Colfax Vikings, and he will get charged with an offensive foul as he charged Kyle Irwin, who ended up on the floor. That's
strong defense for Colfax right here in the first half.
3 fouls for the Hilltoppers, 1 for the Vikings so far in the first half. 13 and a half minutes left in the first half. As Charlo with the ball near the jump circle, gives it to Ensminger. Charlo tries to break away to the near corner. Into Jensen. Jensen going up, and it looks like Glenwood City's Tyler Harrington was on his back. That's Harrington's first foul and the 4th on the Toppers. Irwin to throw it in. Irwin into Ensminger. Ensminger out to Medine. Medine. And it's rebounded by Quinn. Quinn up the floor to Olson. Olson, three-point attempt missed. Headed for the far corner to try to save it was Jaden Quinn, and he couldn't get there. That's going back to Colfax. In the corner, coming out, the Vikings. Mitch Medine. Give and go to Ensminger to Charlo. To Irwin. Back to Charlo. Charlo's going to pass it outside the arch to Medine. He'll go back to Irwin. Irwin moves it in the middle, and he'll give and go to Ensminger. Ensminger heading down the right side of the lane, out on top to Medine. Medine looks. Out on top to Irwin. Irwin looks at a three. Drives around a screen set by Jensen and comes back out with the ball. He'll try it again, and now we have a foul away from the ball. That's going to be called on Jaden Quinn of the Hilltoppers. That's his first foul, and it's the 5th foul of the half for Glenwood City. 12:18 remains, 5-2, Glenwood City leading Colfax. Vikings with the ball. Irwin along the sideline right in front of the Glenwood City bench. Gets it to Ensminger. Ensminger, top of the key, will go up, pop it up from 12 and put it in. It is now a 1-point ball game, 5-4, Glenwood City with the lead. Colfax with a little bit of pressure there. Jensen gets the ball. Jensen across the timeline. Moves it into the middle. He's guarded by Mitch Medine. And we have a timeout on the floor called by Glenwood City. 11:52 remains in the first half. It's Glenwood City 5, Colfax 4. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN 2, and Viking TV.
If you have a high-deductible health plan, opening a health savings account at Dairy State Bank will allow you to save tax-free dollars to pay for a long list of health-related services allowed by the IRS. Dairy State Bank HSAs are serviced locally and work like a regular checking account. You can use a debit card or check to pay for expenses and access your account through online or mobile banking. Visit DairyStateBank.com to learn more about HSAs and online or mobile banking. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Bruce Buckley is just what the doctor ordered it. In fact, he is the doctor, and he's ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380.
Welcome back to Colfax. Jay Fall along with Dan Petchow, videographer Chris Olson, and executive producer and it is Eggert out to Olson, and ball tapped away by Hoffman, and coming up the floor with it will be Medine. Medine to Ensminger. And Ensminger up from 12, bounces around and down, and the Vikings take the lead at 6-5. Morgan Eggert bringing it up for Glenwood City. Takes a big leap at the end of his dribble out to Brody Olson. Olson down to Quinn, back into Jansen, outside to Olson. Olson tries a three-pointer, reload by Quinn, goes up, that's no good. Rebound, fall away by, let's see, I think that was Jackson Hallback. And he is fouled, so he's going to the free throw line. And the first free throw rolls off the top there. Colfax girls start tournament action Friday night. They'll play the winner of tonight's Cumberland Beavers Unity Eagles game. That'll be here in Colfax. And second of the two free throws is good. You can see that game on Viking TV and our NLWN crew with Rick Olson. And Dan Petshaw will have the play-by-play, but that game will be viewed only on Viking TV, not the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Driving in, Charlo pops it up, no good, rebounded by Jaden Quinn. Quinn out to Eggert. Eggert driving around the right side, fires it back to Jansen. Jansen flips it back out to Olson. Olsen around, but down underneath. They try to get it into Jaden Quinn. Goes by him, out of bounds. Vikings get it back. About 10.5 minutes left in the first half. We're tied at 6. Glenwood City Hilltoppers and Colfax Vikings. Final regular season and Dunn St. Croix game for both teams as the playoffs start up next week for the boys. They're starting up tonight for the girls. Ensminger, give and go out to Charlo. Charlo driving on the baseline, left side, off the glass and in. 8-6 Vikings, 10-10 to go, first half. Morgan Eggert up the floor for the Toppers. He'll bounce it in the middle to Olsen. Olsen puts it up from the free throw line. Bounces out, no good, rebounded by Irwin. Irwin to Ensminger. Ensminger driving hard. Is going to be called for a player control foul. That one's got to be a tough one to call because, you know, who's set, who's going forward.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the defense has to be set.
Yeah, that's.
And he was moving, but.
Inbound or pass goes down to Quinn, puts it up and misses it, and Colton Hoffman wrestles the rebound away from him. Out on the far side, it goes to Irwin. Irwin outside the arch. Now he's going in. Stopped, then goes out to Ensminger with a pass. Ensminger going to try the same route. Puts it in. Kind of set it up there toward the rim, and it fell down. 10-6. Colfax with the lead. Hallbach in the center of the lane makes a bounce pass, and that ends up going out of bounds. Colfax will get it back again. Irwin out of the backcourt for the Vikings. Takes it down the right side of the lane, hands it to Ensminger and gets it back. Ensminger is going to look at one from the top of the key, instead goes from the corner of the lane, and that one's good. 15-footer for two. It's 12-6 Colfax. 8:55 left in the first half. Hallbach goes to Quinn, and then stolen away by Irwin. Irwin going down, layup, missed, but reload up and in by Ensminger. 14-6 Vikings, 8:39 to go in the first half. Timeout on the floor. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
To get your lawn or garden to perform like you want, you first need to know about your soil. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for the Chippewa Valley.
8:39 to go in the first half from Colfax. It's senior night. Dunn St. Croix Conference Boys Basketball. Colfax 14, Glenwood City 6. The Viking ladies start tournament play Friday night, and it looks like they could be playing the Unity Eagles, who are off to a big lead over the Cumberland Beavers. That game will be here in Colfax, and you can see it on Viking TV, but our crew will have the play-by-play for it. Rick Olson and Dan Petrol will be with you for that one. And we'll have a foul called on Colton Hoffman. That's his first and Colfax's fourth of the half. 8:28 left in the first half. Alley-oop pass goes into Alec Anderson, who puts it up and in. 14-8 Vikings. Up the floor, it's Ensminger. Ensminger drives, pops it up on the baseline. 8-footer miss. Charlo there, he goes up and is fouled on the way up. That's going to be charged to Brody Olson. Jack Charlo on the free throw line to shoot a pair. That is the 6th foul of the first half for Glenwood City. So on the next topper foul, Vikings will be in a 1+1 bonus. Charlo's first shot doesn't go. Vikings only have 4 fouls at this point. And Charlo's second free throw doesn't go either. Tyler Harrington will come up with a rebound. Remember, Harrington put the first 3 of the night up and in from the corner. Harrington now on the baseline again. That one missed, and it's rebounded by Fisher. To Ensminger, to Irwin. Irwin tried to pass to Charlo, and it was knocked out of bounds by Glenwood City. .754 left in the first half. It's 14-8 Colfax. Irwin, long count, gets it into Hoffman. Hoffman up top to Ensminger. Ensminger's going to drive in, layup, right side, good. 16-8 Vikings. Hilltoppers bringing up the floor.
Ensminger's already got 12.
Harrington, pass goes out to Eggert. And tipped around, Eggert gets it back, is going to fire it underneath, and a kind of a backwards alley-oop underneath by Brody Olson pulls the Hilltoppers to within 6. It's 16-10 Colfax. Charlo gets the ball at the mid-stripe. Charlo off to Irwin. Irwin up off the glass. Charlo trying to tap it back in, and it's rebounded by the Hilltoppers' Brody Olson. Olson out to Eggert. Back down to Harrington. That's Alec Anderson, caught too far under, and he's fouled underneath by Colton Hoffman. .657 to go in the first half. It's 16-10 Vikings. And the second free throw, or first free throw, is good. Getting ahead of myself there. The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV are excited to once again be your home for Eau Claire Cavalier baseball. Follow the Cavaliers throughout the 2023 season on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. The first game will be on May 21st with a doubleheader against the Tilden Tigers. Colfax back with the ball after Glenwood City made one of the free throws. Going up is Aiden Fisher, and he'll draw a foul and get a couple of free throws. Eau Claire has a new semi-pro football team. The Eau Claire Cowboys and NLWN2, along with the Northern Light Webcasting Network, are excited to be your broadcast home. First free throw is good. Follow the Eau Claire Cowboys throughout the 2023 season on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. The first game will be on May 6th as the Cowboys will take on the Rock River Rampage. And free throw good. Glenwood City with the ball. Colfax leading 18-11. Eggert gets the pass. He'll go up for a layup and is fouled on the way up. And they'll say that was on Nick Jensen, I think. It is. That's Nick's first. So Morgan Eggert on the free throw line for Glenwood City. First shot, missed. 6.5 minutes remain in the first half. Senior night here at Colfax. Seniors all started. Medine with the rebound off the free throw. Colfax leading by 7. Medine give and go to Ensminger. Out to Fisher, to Charlo, back to Fisher. Coming up from the corner, Medine. Colfax trying to move the ball quickly. Ensminger driving up. He'll scoop pass it back to Fisher. Fisher will drive the baseline, pop it up and in. 20-11, Colfax, 6 minutes remaining, first half. And full court pressure yields Ensminger the ball. He'll put it up, can't get it, but Charlo reloaded in. 22-11. Colfax is doubled up on the Hilltoppers, and the inbounds pass, and Elijah Ensminger tried to steal it away and ended up pushing it out of bounds. 5:41 to go, first half, 22-11. Colfax with the lead. Olsen, ball ends up down in the corner to Tyler Harrington, and we're going to have a violation. So Colfax will bring it out from the back. Out of the backcourt, Mitch Medine. Medine to Charlo. Charlo driving in. Shot just falls short, rebounded by Brody Olsen. Olsen quickly up the floor for the Hilltoppers. He goes up over the top of Jensen, misses the shot. Jensen with a rebound for Colfax. Fisher has the ball knocked away from him. Now Glenwood City on the fast break up. Brody Olsen puts in a layup on the left side. It's now 22-13 Colfax. 5 minutes left in the first half. Jensen to Ensminger. Ensminger in the corner trying to give it to Charlo. It's picked off by Jaden Quinn of the Hilltoppers. And he'll give it to Olsen to bring it up the floor. Olsen dribbles into Irwin and Ensminger. And now caught on the sidelines, ball stolen away, and it is going to Ensminger with a easy layup on the left side. And Colfax wants a timeout. 4:32 remains in the first half. It's Colfax 24, Glenwood City 13. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings.
24-13, Colfax with the lead over Glenwood City. 4:32 remaining in the first half. Last regular season game for both of these teams. Playoffs start next week for the boys. Colfax hosts Blair Taylor here. You can see that game on Viking TV. And we'll be providing play-by-play for that. Over on the left side, it goes to Hallbach. Hallbach caught up, ball knocked down. He gets it back, but it is taken away by Fisher. Fisher to Ensminger. Ensminger on the baseline, too far under, tries to get it to Jensen, and the ball gets loose into the hands of Olsen. Olsen out to Eggert. Eggert doubled up on from the far corner. He traveled. That tough defense Dan mentioned is still going strong here. Hilltoppers have only scored 13.
Yeah, good job by your senior Nick Jensen there and Jack Charlo to get the trap and get the turnover.
Medine across the timeline, gives it to Charlo. Charlo heading up the lane. He'll go up, and that just falls short. Gets his own rebound, puts it up again. That one goes. 26-13 Vikings, 3:50 remaining first half. Olsen over to Eggert. Ends up down in the far corner to Max Jansen. Jansen dribbles underneath and turns around, puts it up and in. 26-15 Colfax. 3.5 minutes left in the first half. Mitch Medine up high on the left side, goes to Fisher. Fisher for three, bounces off big. Jensen tries to get at the rebound. Eggert gets it. It's fired up to Hallbach, or Tyler Harrington. Harrington puts in a layup on the right side. Glenwood City tightens the gap a little. Elijah Ensminger trying to make a move toward the hoop, gets it out to Charlo, and the Vikings will set it up and start over again. Glenwood City trying to trap Ensminger over on the far side there. Ensminger dishes it off to Jensen, and he puts a layup right in. 28-17 Colfax. Coming up on 2:45 left in the first half. Driving in, Olsen, and up and in. Another three for Tyler Harrington. And the Hilltoppers close the gap to 8. It's 28-20 Colfax, 2.5 minutes left.
Harrington's got 8.
Big night for him. Looking at one was Medine, changed his mind, gave it to Jack Charlo instead. Charlo out to Ensminger. Ensminger down in the corner, fires to Medine. Medine out to Ensminger. Colfax being patient. Passes on a give and go. Medine puts it up, hits the rim, no good. Jensen pulls down the rebound and has it snatched away by Morgan Eggert. Eggert out to Harrington. Harrington up and in from the baseline. And it is now only a 6-point Colfax lead, 28-22, a minute 45 left in the first half. Medine out to Ensminger, kind of bowls a pass into Jack Charlo, and Charlo has the ball stolen away from him by Eggert. Eggert up the floor, and it goes in with a sort of just a quick alley-oop up on the left side by Brody Olsen. 28-24, Colfax's lead cut to 4. And we have a foul on the way down. That's going to be called on Morgan Eggert of the Hilltoppers. That's the 6th Glenwood City foul of the half. It's only Eggert's first. Jensen and Fisher getting a break for Colfax on the free throw line. Elijah Ensminger. First shot bounces around a couple times. It drops through. 1:20 left, first half. Colfax in the bonus, so this is a 1-1, I believe. 28-24. Colfax up by 4. Make it 5. 29-24. Glenwood City getting the ball quickly up the floor. Max Jansen. Jansen flips it out to Eggert. Eggert top of the key, waiting, going to fire into Quinn. Quinn to Anderson goes up, and we're going to have a foul called on Colton Hoffman. Nope. Sorry, Jaden Quinn of Glenwood City gets that foul. Colton Hoffman's going to be on the free throw line. Shooting 1-1. 1:06 left, first half. 30-24. That shot bounces off big, but it's rebounded by Irwin. Irwin out to Ensminger. Ensminger going to try again up from the charity stripe. Wishes her in. 32-24. Out of the backcourt, Jansen. Jansen to Olsen. Olsen from three-point land puts it in. 32-27 Colfax. Vikings with the ball up the floor, and they get instructions from the sidelines to hold it for 1. Ensminger. Ensminger dribbling, no closely guarded situation. They're just going to run some time off the clock here. Medine to Ensminger. Ensminger, left, right, now he goes in. Ensminger bounces it inside to Hoffman. Hoffman goes up, and the shot blocked by Brody Olsen goes out of bounds. So Colfax will still have it underneath their own basket. And we have a timeout on the floor. 6.6 seconds left, first half, 32-27. Colfax leads Glenwood City. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
Let NLWN TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network take you out to the ballgame. Our next broadcast will be on Sunday, May 21st, when we will bring you the Cavaliers taking on the Tilden Tigers in a doubleheader from Carson Park. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN TV begins with the In the Dugout show at 12:05 p.m. That's live Eau Claire Cavalier baseball on Sunday, May 21st on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Welcome back. 6.6 seconds left in the first half of this game. Mitch Benin's going to throw it in underneath the Colfax basket, right side. Slaps it, looking to go in, bounces it in to Elijah Ensminger. And Ensminger loses the ball out of bounds on the end line. Hilltoppers get it back with 5.7 seconds left. Baseball pass up to half court. Olsen down underneath to Jaden Quinn. Quinn shot blocked, and the shot goes up and it gets near the basket. That is the end of the first half. The Colfax Vikings 32, the Glenwood City Hilltoppers 27. Stay tuned now for Viking halftime. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
Time now for Viking Halftime, with today's Viking profile and other halftime entertainment. That's coming up right after this.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're going to get to know Logan Swartz, who's a sophomore here at Colfax High School. And Logan, we know that you play basketball, but are you involved in any other activities here at school?
I do cross country for the fall, and then I run track over the spring.
Okay, now when did you start playing basketball, and what kind of an experience has it been for you?
I started back in 4th grade. Ever since then, my friends have been trying to get me involved, seeing that I've been this tall for my age. So.
And you are.
Yep.
My arm's already falling asleep. Okay. So what's the most important thing you've learned playing basketball?
Just kind of getting in a routine. You know, basketball has always gotten me into a good routine when the season comes around. So kind of just getting in shape.
All right. So when you're not playing basketball or you're not here at school, what are some other things that keep you interested or occupied?
Just trying to be active as much as I can over the summer. You know, off season, always trying to get in shape, stay in shape. So.
Okay. All right. Very good. I've got some rapid fire questions for you.
Hit me with it.
Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Cookies.
Which kind?
Chocolate chip.
Chocolate chip, the good old standby, right?
Oh, yeah.
With nuts or without?
Depends on the day.
Okay, I understand that. Sometimes you feel like a nut and sometimes you don't.
Yep.
Yeah, in fact, somebody ought to use that in a commercial somewhere. Your favorite color and why?
Red probably, kind of just team color.
Okay, very good. Now, if Logan Swartz could have a superpower, what do you think that might possibly be?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Probably speed.
Speed, super speed. Now, if you had super speed, what's Logan's superhero name to go with that super speed?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Gargantuan.
Gargantuan. All right. I'm trying to picture a really fast gargantuan, and that, okay. All right. Your favorite NBA team?
Bucks.
And collegiate team?
Don't watch it. So.
You don't really watch college ball. That's okay. Is there a basketball player at any level of the sport who has affected the way you play your game?
Probably the classic, like Kobe or MJ, just getting into the mindset of them, keeping up with them.
And you want to kind of pattern yourself after the big guys and see how they're playing their game?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We're talking with Logan Swartz here on Viking Profile. And Logan, what are your plans for after high school? Now, you're only a sophomore, so you got plenty of time to change these ideas.
Hoping to get a scholarship somewhere. If not, try out for the team. You know, just try and keep in shape.
Okay. And how about a shout out to the family?
Hard one.
Just say hi, Mom.
Hi.
She's out there waiting for it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. When people come to watch Viking games, what number are they going to be looking for, and where on the floor are they going to find you?
44 in the post.
44 and on the post. All right. We want to thank Logan Swartz for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next, more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
CWX.
you're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular.
Let's go see your room.
No, that's not right. How was it? Is it good?
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
The family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. You tell me to stay rooted. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? The kind to hug or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter what you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Colfax. Halftime score, the Colfax Vikings came from behind and now lead the Glenwood City Hilltoppers by a score of 32-27. Dan, how'd we get there?
Yeah, here's the scores right now for Glenwood City. Their leader right now is number 5, Tyler Harrington. He's got 10 points, followed by Brody Olson with 9. We have Morgan Eggert with 2, Alec Anderson with 3, and Max Jansen with 2, and Jackson Hubbard with 1. For the Colfax Vikings, they're led right now by number 10, Elijah Ensminger. He has 18, followed by Jack Charlotte with 8. We have Aiden Fisher with 4, and Nick Jensen with 2.
The JV game tonight, Glenwood City defeated Colfax by a score of 62-31. This is the final week of the regular season for the boys. The Vikings will start tournament play a week from tonight. They'll host Blair Taylor. The girls are in tournament action. They will play Friday night so far against Unity, who is way out in front of Cumberland. Both of those games tip off at 7 o'clock here at Colfax High School. Friday night for the girls, Tuesday night for the boys. And since the Northern Light Webcasting Network doesn't have WIAA playoff rights, you can see the game on Viking TV, and we'll be providing play-by-play coverage for that on Viking TV during the playoffs, or home playoff games, we'll put it that way. So we're switching sides, so the Viking basket will be to your left as you look on, as that's where the Vikings bench is. Glenwood City's going to start with the ball. They're going to hand it off to Max Jansen to start things off for the Toppers. Jansen gets it into Eggert. Eggert will drive up the floor, pass it over to Quinn. Quinn looks for Olson. Olson up from the free throw line. Shot missed. Trying to get the rebound, and does is Quinn. But a jump ball is going to be called, and then it'll be possession Glenwood City. Nope. Well, they're giving it to Colfax. They just haven't changed it on the board. I'm just repeating what the scoreboard tells me. Irwin driving in at the top of the key out to Charlo. Charlo to Jensen. Back to Charlo. Medine. And a look, give and go to Irwin. Dribbles by Ensminger. Ensminger goes onto the other side. Flipped over to Mitch Medine. Top of the key for 3. Bounces off big. Getting the rebound is Irwin. Irwin goes up and then to Charlo. Charlo up and in. Colfax stretches their lead to 7. It's 34-27. Approaching 17 minutes remaining. As driving in for Glenwood City is Brody Olson. Misses the shot, but Alec Anderson comes up with a rebound. Fires to Max Jansen. Back out on top to Eggert. Then they push it down into the other corner. Olson being guarded by Charlo. Goes all the way across the court to Jansen. Jansen will dish it off to Anderson. Anderson up on the right side, puts in the basket. Out of the backcourt, it's Kyle Irwin. Irwin across the timeline. Dribbles up to Jensen. Then to Charlo, and down underneath. Jensen puts it up and in. 34-29, 36-29. Colfax, 16:20 to go, second half. Glenwood City driving up. It's Olson. Give and go to Eggert. Eggert out to Jansen. Free throw line left. Pass goes to Eggert. He has trouble reeling it in, but does. Eggert will fire it to Anderson. And pass stolen away by Irwin of the Vikings. Then the Toppers steal it back. Foul's going to be charged to Kyle Irwin. That is his first of the game and the first of the second half for Colfax. Eggert throws it into Anderson. Anderson goes up and in with a bucket. 36-31, Colfax. Medine, top of the key, 3 ball, drains it. 39-31, Vikes back up by 8. Approaching 15.5 minutes remaining in the second half. Driving in, and it goes to Quinn. Quinn misses the shot. Rebound pulled down by Irwin. Irwin up the court for the Vikings. Free throw line right. Scoop pass to Charlo. Charlo over on the right side. Between the jump circle and the wheel, gives it to Ensminger. Ensminger driving along the left side, goes in between two Vikings and loses the ball, but a foul is going to be called on Olsen. So Brody Olsen, the freshman for the Hilltoppers, picks up another foul. That's his second of the game, the first foul of the second half for the Hilltoppers. Vikings will get the ball back in underneath. It'll be Kyle Irwin on the left side. 15:08 to go. Second half, in they try to get it into Jensen. Ball goes through and Ensminger gets it. Now Jensen gets it a little bit. Hook shot missed, doesn't get the rebound. Coming up with it, Olsen for Glenwood City. And Charlo's going to pick up a foul. Guarding Olsen a little too close for the officials' liking. 39-31, Colfax by 8. Just under 15 minutes left in the second half. Eggert to Quinn. Quinn on the left side gives it to Harrington. Harrington's not going to go up over Olsen. Pass goes back and Glenwood City saves it. Out in the far corner, Alec Anderson. Anderson waits, goes up, or that is Quinn. Didn't make the shot. Irwin up the floor. Ensminger. Irwin gets it back. He'll drive in, pops it up, or tries to get a pass to Jensen. Either way, Glenwood City ends up stealing it. Quinn goes up off the glass and puts in the bucket. Colfax lead now cut to 6. It's 39-33. Vikings 14-15 to go. Second half. Irwin to Medine. Flips it back out on top to Charlo. Charlo around to Jensen. Jensen up and in for 2. 14 minutes left. Colfax 41, Glenwood City 33. Harrington, a long pass, tipped, stolen back by the Vikings. Irwin gets it to Medine. Medine trying to get it to Ensminger. Went out of bounds off Glenwood City. Colfax will keep it on their end. And a timeout called by Colfax. 13:44 to go, second half. 41-33 Colfax. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax has just what you need when you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it. Mom's is open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily and until 9 on Fridays with a complete breakfast menu. Lunch includes sandwiches, salads, wraps, and burgers, along with Mom's comfort food favorites, and don't forget dinner on Fridays with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee always hot, the breakfast always delicious, and lunch puts a smile on your face. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining? Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Dr. Bruce Buckley and his staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
Welcome back to Colfax. 13:44 to go, second half. Colfax Vikings 41, Glenwood City Hilltoppers 33. Jay Fall, Dan Petchow, videographer Chris Olson, and executive producer Rick Olson with you from Colfax. Senior night. Inbounds pass goes into Ensminger. Ensminger from the arch looking to go inside with it. It'll go back out on top to Irwin. Irwin. Top the key to Charlo. Charlo alley-oops it into Jensen. Jensen will go up off the window and scores a bucket. Colfax 10-point lead, 43-33. Morgan Eggert with the ball, dish it off to Alec Anderson. Anderson back to Hallbach. And outside for three, ball rolls off the rim and into the hands of Nick Jensen. Jensen to Medine. Medine out to Charlo in the corner to Ensminger. Ensminger pops it up from the lane, 10, in and out, missed, and Jensen tries to go up for the reload. He is fouled on the way up. Nick will go to the free throw line for 2. Foul's going to be called on Alec Anderson. That is his 4th foul. And we have 12:50 to go in the second half. So Nick Jensen on the free throw line. Got a chance to meet Nick at a recent Stout game. Coach Noel brought him over and introduced him, and we talked a little bit. Nice kid, great player, big and good important part of the program here at Colfax. One of the 5 seniors being recognized tonight after the game, along with Mitch Medine, Kyle Irwin, Jack Charlo, and Ashton Greenwald. And that one took a while, but it dropped in. 44-33 Colfax. Brody Olson gets the pass to Eggert, and down in the corner to Harrington. Harrington out to Quinn. Quinn up off the glass, missed, rebounded, reloaded by Esmond Swenby. That shot didn't go. Now the loose ball to Jaden Quinn. He'll put it up, and he will try to put it up, and he is fouled by Jack Charlo in the process. Colfax will play Unity on Friday night here at Colfax. 57-22 was the final of that game over Cumberland. And the first free throw by Jaden Quinn bounces out. No good. 12:28 left to go, second half. Colfax 44, Glenwood City 33. Second one doesn't go either. Jensen tries to get the rebound, and he's fouled in the process by Brody Olson. Olson's racking up the fouls for Glenwood City. That is his 3rd. 3 fouls apiece for each team here in the second half. Ensminger in, or gets the pass in. Being guarded by Eggert. Pulls back a little bit, now drives in. On the right side is going to go up in traffic and draws a foul. Foul's going to be called on number 2, Morgan Eggert. That is his 2nd foul of the game. So Elijah Ensminger on the free throw line for Colfax. First free throw rolls out. Colfax boys start tournament of play a week from tonight here at Colfax. Blair Taylor the opponent. The girls will play Unity in their first tournament game here Friday night. Both those tip at 7, and you can see them on Viking TV. We'll have the play-by-plays. Second free throw goes in. Brody Olson heading toward the basket, puts up a shot and puts it in, but I think that foul was prior to the shot, so it's going underneath. Left side for the Hilltoppers. 12, coming up on 12 minutes remaining. Out to the top of the key, Brody Olson's three-point shot missed, rebounded by Mitch Medine. Medine across the center jump circle goes to Aiden Fisher. Fisher to Ensminger outside the jump circle. Ensminger on the right side, dribbles past the screen set by Jensen. Jensen's going in, going up. We'll try again. That one doesn't go. Tapped around in there, and coming up with it for Glenwood City is Morgan Eggert. Into Max Jansen, and Jansen goes up and in, and let's see. That basket is going to count, and the foul's going to go against Colton Hoffman. And that is the 4th foul of the game for Colton Hoffman and the 5th foul of the second half for the Vikings. 11:24 remains in the second half. Max Jansen on the free throw line for Glenwood City. Jansen dribbles a little bit, puts it up and in. Completes the three-point play. Colfax will bring it up the floor. It is Mitch Medine. Medine to Ensminger. Back to Medine. Ensminger looks at a three ball. Back over to Ensminger. Ensminger, Medine out on the near side to Fisher. Medine looked at one again, drives up to the free throw line. That one's going up by Fisher. Fisher's three ball missed. Charlo going up with the rebound, and on top of his arm was Jaden Quinn. Not a shooting foul, so the Vikings will keep it on their end. Mitch Medine, free throw line left. Down inside to Ensminger. Ensminger off the glass for a bucket. 47-36, Colfax by 11, 10:40 remaining second half. Olsen bounces the ball in front of Quinn. Back to Olsen from the corner over the top, right into the hands of Ensminger. Ensminger guarded closely going up, and he'll put it off the glass and in. And a timeout called on the floor by Glenwood City. 10:22 to go, second half. Colfax 49, Glenwood City 36. You're watching Colfax Vikings Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
If you have a high-deductible health plan, opening a health savings account at Dairy State Bank will allow you to save tax-free dollars to pay for a long list of health-related services allowed by the IRS. Dairy State Bank HSAs are serviced locally and work like a regular checking account. You can use a debit card or check to pay for expenses and access your account through online or mobile banking. Visit DairyStateBank.com to learn more about HSAs and online or mobile banking. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
If you've been admiring the freshly groomed look of a baseball field, or the stunning appearance of a golf course, remember you too can have a lawn with the same beauty by simply calling Midwest Environmental Consultants. Their professional lawn care experts can bring your lawn to its full beauty and appearance. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your lawn the showplace of the neighborhood.
Welcome back to Colfax. Glenwood City with the ball. Jansen bringing it out of the backcourt for the Toppers. Sends it halfway down to Quinn. Quinn up high, going to Jansen. Jansen in. Gets a pass to Esden Swenby, who puts in the bucket on the left side. 10 minutes to go, second half. Vikings lead the Hilltoppers by 11. In the far corner to Medine. And Olsen trying to steal the pass, ends up knocking it out of bounds. Vikings will toss the ball in front of their own bench. Medine into Ensminger. Ensminger into Charlo. Charlo goes up, puts the basket in, and he'll go to the free throw line for one. Glenwood City chalks up their sixth foul of the half, and that is the fourth foul individually on Jaden Quinn. So Charlo going to try to complete a three-point play here. His team leads 51-38. That shot falls short, rebounded by Harrington. Harrington up the floor to an open Jaden Quinn with no problem at all for a bucket on that one. 9.5 minutes left, second half. 51-40, Colfax leading Glenwood City. Ensminger up high. Ensminger to Medine. Back and forth over on the far side. Over to Fisher. Fisher to Medine. Medine for three. Catches the back iron. Ball tipped out, and it goes out of bounds off Glenwood City's Max Jansen, right in front of the Vikings student section. So Medine's going to throw it in from there into Ensminger. Back and forth over on the far side. Ensminger looks at one. He'll look at one again from the free throw line. Dishes it into Hoffman. Hoffman going up, and we're going to have a jump ball. And that'll be possession Glenwood City. Medine into Ensminger. Nope, check that. That's Jansen. Jansen out to Eggert. Back down in the corner. Charlo tangles him up, and then the loose ball picked up by Medine for Colfax. Up to Charlo. That ball rolls off the side of his foot. Pass will go back to Aiden Fisher. Fisher will go up. Shot missed. Colton Hoffman's going to try to save it, and it goes out of bounds. Glenwood City gets it back. 8:28 to go, second half. Colfax by 11. 51-40 over Glenwood City. And the pass stolen in the backcourt, given to Charlo. Charlo misses, goes up off the glass. And we're going to have that basket count anyway as Olsen hit the backboard. Can't do that. 53-40. Morgan Eggert's going to throw it in for Glenwood City. He's being guarded by Charlo. Into Harrington, ball tipped out, loose ball again, goes to Ensminger. Ensminger drives in, misses the shot, pulled down by Eggert. Eggert off on the right side goes to Hallback, and Hallback traveled. So throwing it in for Colfax will be Medine. 8:06 to go, second half. Colfax leads by 13. Ensminger and Medine bringing it out. This time they're coming to the left side, or Ensminger is anyway. Bounces it into Charlo, to Medine, out in the corner to Ensminger. Ensminger for three. Ball short, tip back to Ensminger. Medine will get it back. Medine into Jensen. Jensen into Fisher. Fisher up, missed, reload. That one doesn't go. Fisher's going to try a third time and picks up a foul. And that foul is going to be charged to Esden Swenby. He's a sophomore for the Hilltoppers. That will put Aiden Fisher, a fellow sophomore at the other school, on the free throw line. First free throw in the 1-and-1, good. 7:35 to go, second half. Colfax 54, Glenwood City 40 in Dunn St. Croix Conference Boys Basketball. Colfax now in the 1-and-1 bonus as Glenwood City has committed 7 fouls here in the second half. Shot missed, but Charlo with a rebound will go up again, put it off the glass and in. 56-40. Up the floor, it's Brody Olson. To Quinn, out to Anderson. Or Anderson gets the pass down on the baseline. Manages to get it over to Max Jansen. Jansen's going in. And based on the frustrated hand clap, it was Mitch Medine who picked up that foul, and that's his third. Max Jansen, senior, on the line for Glenwood City. Makes it. 56-41 the score. Colfax Viking girls start tournament play here at Colfax. 7 o'clock is the tip Friday night against Unity. You can see that game on Viking TV. Second free throw is good. 56-42. Irwin across the timeline, Ensminger. Ensminger fires it to Fisher. Fisher back to Ensminger. Fires into Jensen. Jensen to a moving Aiden Fisher. Sails in for the right side layup and 2 more. Vikes lead 58-42. Shot underneath for Glenwood City by Jaden Quinn. Bounces that off the window and into the bucket. Across the timeline, Irwin. Irwin down underneath to Charlo. Charlo outside to Ensminger, back to Irwin. Irwin over to Fisher. Charlo trying to get it over to Jensen, and it's knocked away by the Hilltoppers. Eggert will bring it up the floor for the Glenwood City Hilltoppers, and that one falls short. Ensminger comes up with a rebound for the Vikings. Takes it to the other end of the floor, off the glass, doesn't go. Charlo gets the rebound. He's going to go up and draws a foul. Jaden Quinn's going to be whistled for that one. And that is it for him tonight. One of the seniors playing in his last regular season game.
Jaden ends up with 6 points tonight.
Jack Charlo on the free throw line for Colfax. We're approaching 6 minutes left in tonight's game and the regular season for Colfax boys. Charlo looking skyward. First one, good. One and one, a 15-point Colfax lead, 59-44. That one rolls off and it's pulled down by Brody Olson. Olson down along the far sidelines for the Hilltoppers. Olson going in with a layup, missing the shot, and rebound by Kyle Irwin. Irwin trying to get it to Ensminger. It's tipped out of bounds by the Hilltoppers. Irwin's going to throw it in. From the corner, gets it into Nick Jensen. Jensen to Ensminger. They try to double up on him, and actually Brody Olson goes in for the foul. It's going to put Elijah Ensminger on the free throw line, and that is number 4 for fouls on freshman Brody Olson of Glenwood City. Ensminger, free throw 1. Missed, rebounded by Eggert. Eggert up the floor to Olson. Olson to Alec Anderson. To Jansen on the baseline, back to Anderson, and he flies in for a layup. Colfax brings it up the floor. Irwin. Irwin bounces it down to Ensminger. Ensminger loses it on the floor. Now Irwin tries to steal it back. And we have all kinds of bodies on the floor for both teams. And out of that, we're going to have a foul on Elijah Ensminger. That's the 7th foul for Colfax, so now the Hilltoppers are on the free throw line for a bonus as well. Alec Anderson is the shooter for Glenwood City. 5:08 left, second half. 59-46 Colfax. First free throw good. The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV are excited to once again be your home for Eau Claire Cavalier baseball. Follow the Cavaliers throughout the 2023 season on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Second free throw good as well. First game for the Cavs, May 21st, a doubleheader against the Tilden Tigers. Irwin crosses the timeline with it. They catch him, but he manages to get to Ensminger, down to Charlo. Charlo with an easy layup, right side. 61-48. As Max Jansen brings up the floor for Glenwood City. Scoop pass to Alec Anderson, misses the shot. Charlo with a rebound for Colfax. Charlo gives it in to Fisher. Fisher puts in a layup on the right side. 63-48 Colfax, 4:25 to go, second half. Max Jensen crosses the timeline. Try to get it into Alec Anderson, and the ball ends up going out of bounds off one of the Vikings. Elijah Ensminger, 1 point shy of his career high. He's got 23 points tonight. Eggerts out on top to Hallbach. And from the corner, it's Eggert. Eggert driving in, off the glass, missed, reload, goes back into Alec Anderson's hands. Anderson is going to get the bucket. And a foul's going to be charged to Nick Jensen. That's only his second foul. But that is the 8th foul for Colfax. So now both teams in the 1-and-1 bonus. 3-point play completed. 4 minutes left in the ball game. 63-51 Colfax. Ensminger to Jensen. Out to Fisher. Back to Jensen. Free throw line. Shot just short. Rebounded by Hallbach. And he's fouled underneath. So Jackson Hallbach, a junior for the Hilltoppers, is going to go to the free throw line for a 1+1. .346 left, second half. Hallbach, first free throw. Rolls around out, rebounded by Charlo. Charlo to Irwin. Irwin across the timeline, goes out to Ensminger. Back to Irwin. Irwin to Charlo. Charlo. And the foul is going to be charged to Morgan Eggert of the Hilltoppers. Jack Charlo on the line for 1-and-1. No, 2, as the Hilltoppers commit their 10th foul of the half. First shot up and in. 64-51 Colfax. Second one missed. Jensen with the rebound. Out to Ensminger. To Irwin. Back to Ensminger. Irwin. Ensminger trying to scoop a pass over his shoulder. And the foul's going to be called on Glenwood City's Jackson Hallbach. That's his first foul. So a double bonus for Colfax. First free throw up and in for Elijah Ensminger. And he now has tied his career high for scoring. Makes this free throw, and he's got a new one. A new one he has. 25 points tonight. 66-51 Colfax. 3:10 to go, second half. Across the timeline, Eggert drives in. And that foul is going to be charged to Elijah Ensminger. That is his 4th. We now have 10 team fouls each, at least, so we'll have the double bonus going the rest of the way here. Little more than 3 minutes left to go in the second half as the first free throw no good. That one rolls out, and it's rebounded by Nick Jensen. Jensen Irwin to Ensminger. He'll fire a pass to Charlo. They try to knock it away from him. Charlo will get it over to Ensminger. Glenwood City doubling up on whoever has the ball in most cases. Goes out to Irwin. Irwin caught near the half-court line. Charlo comes there to help him out, and we'll have a timeout called by Colfax. 2:33 remains in the second half. It's Colfax Boys 66, Glenwood City 51. You're watching Colfax Vikings Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
Let NLWN2 and the Northern Light Webcasting Network bring you some tough semi-pro gridiron action. Our next broadcast will be on Saturday, May 6th, when we will bring you the Eau Claire Cowboys taking on the Rock River Rampage from Janesville, Wisconsin. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN2 begins with Cowboy Kickoff at 3:35 p.m. That's live Eau Claire Cowboy football on Saturday, May 6th on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
Eau Claire has a new semi-pro football team. The Eau Claire Cowboys and NLWN2, along with the Northern Light Webcasting Network, are excited to be your broadcast home. Follow the Eau Claire Cowboys throughout the 2023 season on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. The first game will be on May 6th as the Cowboys will take on the Rock River Rampage from Janesville. Aiden Fisher to toss the ball in for Colfax. Fisher into the backcourt to Ensminger. 2.5 minutes left. They try to pin Ensminger along the sideline. And Ensminger is fouled. That foul is going to be on Morgan Eggert, and that is his fourth. 2 free throws for Elijah Ensminger. Try to add to his career high here. He does. First free throw good. 26 points tonight for Elijah Ensminger. Second one, good as well. 68-51, Colfax leading Glenwood City. 2:25 left in the game. Jay Fall, Dan Petchow, videographer Chris Olson, and executive producer Rick Olson with you from Colfax. Final regular season game for both of these teams as the ball goes into Alec Anderson, who puts it up for a basket. 68-53, Colfax. Irwin fires to Charlo in the near corner. Charlo looking to go somewhere with it, will go out on top to Medine. They try to wrestle the ball away from Medine. Ball goes out of bounds off Colfax, or off Glenwood City, sorry, going to Colfax. About 2 minutes remains in the game. 68-53, Colfax. Ensminger into Irwin, who is fouled. He'll go to the free throw line for 2. And that is the last foul available for Brody Olson. His night is done. So Tyler Harrington will come back in for him. And Elijah Ensminger coming out, and Ashton Greenwell coming in. A lot of bouncing around with that free throw. Second free throw for Kyle. Missed. Nick Jensen tried to get the rebound, and it ended up out of bounds. Minute 54 left in the game. Glenwood City trailing Colfax 68-53. Driving in, Morgan Eggert. Eggert goes in with a layup. Pass goes into Greenwell. Back out to Irwin. Irwin out to Medine. Medine to Irwin. Irwin in the middle to Jensen, over to Greenwell. Greenwell's shot falls short. He's going to reload and goes up. He is fouled. He is going to go to the line for 2. To the delight of the Colfax student section. So 2 free throws for Ashton Greenwell, one of the 5 seniors that's going to be honored after tonight's game. Free throw, rolls off, no good. And a fairly quiet gym as the second one goes up. That one's good. Ashton Greenwell, his face lights up as he's got a point. Into Anderson. Anderson top of the key. That one bangs around, no good. Pulled off the boards by Charlo. Charlo nearly loses it. He wrestles it away from Glenwood City. Keeps dribbling. He'll flip it back to Medine. Medine caught up, and we're going to have a timeout called by Colfax. Exactly a minute left to go in the regular 22-23 season for Colfax. 69-55 Vikings. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN 2, and Viking TV.
Soon the weather will change and you'll be able to breathe in the clean, fresh air of spring. And you know what comes right along with that. That's right, it will be time for Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball. Follow the Cavaliers all season long right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and NLWN TV. Be sure to check out our website at www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com for our current broadcast schedule.
Colfax Viking girls start tournament play Friday night. They're going to play Unity here at Colfax. 7 o'clock is the tip-off time. Boys tournament play begins a week from tonight. The boys will host Blair Taylor here. Both of those games tip off at 7 o'clock. Girls Friday, boys Tuesday. And you can see the game on Viking TV. Northern Light Webcasting Network does not have playoff broadcasting rights, but we're going to be providing the play-by-play on Viking TV. Medine tosses it into Irwin. Irwin in the backcourt trying to fire it over to Greenwell, and it's picked off by Alec Anderson. Now the ball goes into the corner to Max Jensen. Jensen gets his own rebound going from the corner into the center, and Morgan Eggert goes to the far side to Anderson for 3, goes up, shot falls short, and we are going to have a foul underneath the basket on Kyle Irwin, or no, check that, Morgan Eggert, and that is his 5th foul. So I believe Glenwood City has 3 players that have fouled out tonight. On the free throw line for Colfax is Kyle Irwin. 35 seconds left in tonight's game. First shot missed. Colfax 69, Glenwood City 55. Second one goes in. All the Viking defenders end up on the other end, awaiting Glenwood City. Jackson Hallbach's bringing it up, and Hallbach is wrestling with Kyle Irwin for the ball, and it's a jump ball, and the possession goes to Colfax. 26 seconds to go. Pass goes to Charlo. Charlo drives it. Now it's stolen away. Hallbach loses it. Ball goes out of bounds. It's going back to Colfax. 15.6 seconds left. And the student section wants Ashton Greenwell to score. 3-pointer, good! He nails it! Up the floor it goes to Glenwood City. Swenby and top of the key. That one goes in. It's going to be 3 points for Glenwood City, and that is 73-55. The final tonight. Colfax now ends the regular season at 12-12. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight, both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back, because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for Colfax Boys Basketball. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Postgame, where we'll take a look back at today's Colfax Viking Boys game.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
On behalf of the Boys Viking Club are Coach Mark Noel, Coach Tristan Gilson, and Coach Nick Height. Will the following please go to center court when your name is called? Number 2, Mitch Medina. Mitch's favorite basketball member is watching Jack get his first game done. Just somehow happy at Bill Bolster. His advice to younger players: if you're not getting the playing time you want, don't complain. Work hard and prove to the coaches why you deserve to play. The greatest influences on his athletic career are his parents, Coach Noel and Coach Seacroft. Coach Noel's thoughts on Mitch. Mitch has shown great leadership and dedication over his career. Mitch's drive to continuously work on his game and be the best he can be has been a huge asset to our team. Mitch has set the tone for being mentally prepared and ready to compete every day. Congratulations, Mitch Medina. Making a buzzer beater half court in elementary school. His advice for younger players: try to have fun during every practice of high school basketball because you don't get long to play. His biggest influences for his athletic career are Stephen Curry and Kyrie Irving. Coach Noel on Kyle. Kyle is a reliable, dedicated young man. If you ask Kyle to do anything, he will get it done. He is always willing to help and do whatever helps the team. Kyle is a quiet leader. Kyle is very focused and will succeed in whatever he puts his mind to. Thank you, Kyle. Jack Charlo. Jack's favorite basketball memory is just being able to play basketball with his friends and having fun. His advice for younger players: play every game like it's your last and put in the work when you're young. His biggest athletic influences are his brother George and his coaches throughout his career. Coach Noel on Jack. Jack plays with such great energy. I love the passion Jack brings to every practice and game. Jack has worked very hard and pushed himself into becoming a great athlete and player. I believe Jack has a great basketball career ahead of him if he chooses to play at the next level. Thank you, Jack. Nick Jensen. His favorite basketball memory: in junior high, he almost took a few of the fans' heads off with a massive block. Advice for younger players: play your hardest, trust your coaches and teammates, and the rest will come. His greatest athletic influences: Coach Joe Doucette was his gym teacher throughout elementary school. Coach Doucette was always pushing me to be my best and showing me how good of a person he could be. Coach Knoll has been a huge influence on me as a person and player. He was always motivating us and always supporting us no matter what. Coach Knoll on Nick. Nick is a super positive, funny, and caring teammate. I've been so proud of how Nick has grown his game and dedication he gives to the team. Big Red, Big Farmer is a natural leader and a fan favorite, along with a 3-point specialist. It has been a pleasure to coach Nick. Thank you, Nick. Ashton's favorite basketball memory is playing in the Great Northwest League as a kid. His advice for younger players: if you give your all, you will succeed. His greatest influence throughout his athletic career has been his dad, Coach Nolan Ashton. We are so grateful that Greeny decided to play his senior year. He has been a huge asset to the program with his hard work and positive attitude. Thank you, Ashton. Thank you, seniors, for actively dedicated and driven group is a dedicated and driven group of young men who truly care about each other. Their leadership will leave a lasting impact and sets the tone for our younger athletes. Thank you, Kyle, Mitch, Jack, Nick, and Ashton. Coaches Noel, Nicholson, and Mike. Let's hear it for our seniors.
Time now for Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Boys game. And now, Viking Postgame.
Presentation and honoring of the 5 seniors in the 22-23 basketball season for the Colfax Vikings as the Vikings wrap up their final regular season game with a 73-55 victory over the Glenwood City Hilltoppers, and Mark Knoll is on his way up to talk to us about that. And Mark, thanks for coming up, and you got to recognize a great group of 5 young men.
Yeah, that's awesome. And they deserve it. They've, over the years, those guys, my time here for the 3 years, we've had camps, we've had little tournaments. We've had all those little things. Those kids are always at those things, being here when we need them to help us. They're all great leaders, all great young men. Obviously, I'm very proud that we can honor them tonight.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the huge things that athletics provides is the opportunity to develop leadership in young people.
Yes, and that's what this does, right? That's what this is all about. When it's all said and done, they're not going to remember their overall record. They're going to remember their teammates, what they learned from playing basketball, what made them a stronger young man. That's what they're going to remember more than anything, and that's what we're trying to grow is just great young men.
Yeah, and I think one young man is going to remember a nice 3-point shot to wrap up the final regular season game.
They were still trying to trap, so it wasn't like we just shot it because we wanted to. They were still trapping, and I told Greeny to get in the corner. Told Nick to look for him, so it worked out well. So that's Greeny's shot, that left corner 3 ball.
Oh, wow.
That's what he likes.
Well, that looked good, and your team came from behind again. You've had a lot of practice in doing that, but once you got it back, you kept things going.
Being down, so you got a better memory than me. But what I do remember more than anything is just how hard that game was last night, and to turn around and come back and play today.
Yeah,
not an easy thing to do.
No.
And those kids did a phenomenal job of just playing hard. Now, when we were all 17, 18 years old, we could go for days too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
But at the same time, they're still a little dinged up. They're still a little sore today because I was asking them how they're feeling today. And, kids like Jack and Elijah and Nick, some of those guys don't get very many breaks. So I was a little worried about that, but I knew they'd be fine once they got on the court and started running around.
Yeah, they seem to do a great job of getting out of those traps that Glenwood City
they
kept trying throughout the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, like I told them last night, that was a crazy physical game with a lot of trapping going on. Now tonight, another team is trapping and being physical. So those are great games to have before the tournament. So we welcome anybody that wants to throw a trap on us because we're ready for it.
Yeah, you bet. Well, now you also have an opportunity, bearing the weather, of course, to get some practice and work into the tournament. It starts a week from tonight.
We'll for sure have 2 days off here because there's no school for sure the next 2 days. So I guess they'll be shoveling, and maybe that'll be their workout for now. But they'll get a chance to rest, which will be good for us. So then we'll practice once we get out of the snow pile that we're in.
You bet. What do you know about Blair Taylor?
I haven't really seeked them out too much. So I was more worried about the last 24 hours, those two games.
Yeah.
But with that said, Coach Storley is a coach that's, I don't want to say the wrong year, but he's probably been there for like 35 years. I feel like great coach. I think he's in the Hall of Fame. So he's a coach that's been around for a long time. So, I'm sure he's going to want to play his brother because if whoever wins our game plays against his brother, his twin brother at Ball Creek. So, so hopefully we don't let the brothers play against each other.
That's good. So
that's our goal anyway.
You bet. You feel your guys are ready?
Yeah, I think we are because we've literally seen everything this year. There's nothing that someone can throw at us that we haven't already seen. So we've seen every kind of defense there is. Like last night we saw a box and one, we saw a 1-3-1, we saw a 3-2. We've seen it all, so we're ready.
All right.
And again, I just want to say thank you to you guys for all the time and effort that you guys put into this. This is awesome for our families back home to be able to watch this. So I really appreciate that, and the sponsors that sponsor this to help it make it happen. So I appreciate everyone that's listening. And then, with our seniors, I love those guys. Those are my boys.
All right. Mark, thanks, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Mark Knoll, head coach of the Colfax Vikings. As we get ready to wrap it up here, we will take a break. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball post-game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
73-55, the Colfax Viking boys wrap up their regular season with a win. Dan, let's take a look at the numbers.
Yeah. Here's the scores for the Hilltoppers tonight. They're led by number 3, Alec Anderson. He had 16 points, followed by Tyler Harrington with 10. And then we had Morgan Eggert with 4. We had Jackson Hallback with 1. We had Max Jansen with 7. Jaden Quinn with 6. Esden Swenby with 2. And Anthony Nelson with 9. And also, down at the bottom, number 33, Brody Olson had 9. For the Colfax Vikings, they're led tonight by number 10, Elijah Ensminger. He had 27 points, followed by Jack Charlo with 20. We had Nick Jensen with 9. We had Aiden Fisher with 9. We had Ashton Greenwell with 4. We had Mitch Medina with 3, and Kyle Irwin with 1. 73-55.
Yes. So the Viking boys, having seen just about everything this season, ready for the playoffs. Blair Taylor, Tuesday night.
Yeah, here we go. Playoffs, girls are coming up. Boys are right behind them.
Right, and so the girls play Friday night. They're going to play Unity, who had a big win tonight over Cumberland. And then the boys play Blair Taylor a week from tonight, Tuesday. Both those tip off at 7 here at Colfax. Northern Light Webcasting Network doesn't have WIA playoff broadcast rights, but you can watch both of those games on Vikings Viking TV, and we'll provide the play-by-play for that. Tonight's Colfax High School basketball game brought to you by the Colfax Animal Hospital. Let Dr. Buckley and his friendly staff take care of your pet. Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for the Chippewa Valley. Anderson Bridges, who have been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Slayton's technology IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Comfort food the way Mom used to make it. And Fit Fam Nutrition of Colfax, with drinks that taste as good as their names sound, plus they're healthy. Be sure to thank these fine sponsors for stopping in and doing some business with them. Well, this wraps up the regular season for the Colfax boys here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. We appreciate you following the boys with us throughout the season. It's been a blast bringing them to you. Dan, enjoyed working with you, and look forward to more in the future. Dan Petshaw keeping the numbers and adding commentary and setting up and all kinds of stuff. And our videographer for Viking TV, Chris Olson, and also for the network here. Had some fun road trips and that sort of thing. And our executive producer, Rick Olson, is also here tonight as well. So we thank you for joining us. Stay safe in the upcoming winter weather, and have a good night. I'm Jay Fall. Thanks for joining us.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Boys game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.